Hi guys, it's Leah. Today I'm going to be upcycling these jeans, just updating them a little bit, making them a little bit more modern. They're just a little bit long on me, so I'll probably take up the length a little bit. Also, the waist is not hitting me exactly right, and that's because they're just a little bit big for me in the waist area. So I am going to take the waist in a little bit. First thing, I'm just going to kind of pinch the back here, figure out how much I need to exactly take in, and also how far down I need to take the fabric in. Then I'm just going to roll the pant legs just to get a general idea of how much I need to take up for the length. Then I'm marking with a dissolvable pen where I want the waist to come in. And then with my seam ripper, I'm just taking off the belt loop from the back and setting that aside for later. Next, I'm going to seam rip the waistband at the top and the bottom about an inch away from where I want to take it in, just so I have enough room to work with. Next, I'm going to rip out the double seam in the back. I'm going to rip this a little bit past the area where I'm going to be taking it in. Once that back seam is out, I'm using some pins and just securing those two seams back together where I have marked them. And then I'm going to the sewing machine and I'm sewing those seams back together, taking in the waist as needed. Then I'm cutting off the excess here and folding under the seam so it lays nice and flat and so it does not fray. And I'm sewing down that double seam again, trying to blend it into the old seam as much as I can. But I will say that you can still kind of tell just because of the light fabric and the way that these seams on these jeans are kind of faded, but I did my best. So now that seam is finished, and I did end up clipping the waistband seam just because I am going to have to take that in also. And so now I'm just putting those back together, and where they overlap, I'm marking them because this is where I'm going to sew them back together. Then I'm pinning those right sides together, and I'm going to sew them back together at my sewing machine. I'm cutting off the excess so there's only about a 1/4 inch left, and then I am just going to open up those seams because it will lie a lot flatter when I fold the waistband back over, and it will create less bulk. Then I'm just folding that seam back over, sandwiching the jeans in between the waistband using some pins to secure it. And then I did sew this down at the sewing machine, but somehow I lost that footage at some point. No idea, just didn't record. So that is the next thing I did. But next, here I am putting the belt loop back on that we had taken off in the beginning. Now that the waist is taken in, I need to take up the hem a little bit, so I marked the area that I wanted to take it up. I did pin the bottom of the pants just to make sure that everything was flush and wasn't going to move around. And again, my camera didn't record, but then I did cut off the excess. Lastly, I threw them in the wash, and then after that, I threw them into the dryer, and this just made it so they looked a little bit more worn, and when they came out of the dryer, they were frayed at the bottom a little bit more. And this is the finished product. Alright you guys, so those are my upcycled jeans. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye!